Hey guys, welcome to another timeline video tarot reading. I'm here to do the tarot reading for November 11 to the 17th. So let me take a brief look at the astrology, you guys. Well, obviously we're in a Mercury retrograde. We talked a little bit about that last week. We are smack dab in the middle of a Mercury retrograde until about the 29th of November. And then of course we go into a 2-week shadow period that could be a little crazy. So we know that this is miscommunication. We need to be keeping our receipts. This can be delays. So if there's any delays happening, Mercury retrograde can definitely be an interesting time period. And it's very interesting to try to tap into timelines during Mercury retrograde because Mercury retrograde is a timeline in itself. Very briefly, Mercury does rule Gemini, Virgo, mental, logical energies, communication, travel. So there can be accidents, errors, miscommunication, delays, anything that would help promote a further reflecting period 111 on the clock when I say that. So anyway, we have a Mercury retrograde that started on November 9th. This can bring people, places, things, theories, subjects, circumstances back up from the past to be revised. There's something about the end of January that could be important, whether that was of 2025 or of 2026 coming up in a couple months. I will say the beginning of this week, we start with a Jupiter retrograde. So this is the planet of luck and fortune, beliefs, knowledge, and learning. Sagittarius and Pisces ruling planet. So there could be a shift in our fate or in our fortune, you guys. And I think that's about all the astrology happening, unless we want to talk about Vesta entering Capricorn. And then we'll talk about some other astrology going on. So for this week, you guys, I am going to pull 2 oracle cards because I really want to hone in on the energies taking place and the themes taking place. All right. So we'll use some tarot cards afterwards. First, let's tap into the oracle. And then, as always, we will roll the dice. If anyone's curious, I'm wearing lapis lazuli. I felt led to wear this crystal just shortly before the Mercury retrograde. Lapis lazuli is the throat chakra. It helps with communication, which could be an important theme this week. So let's go ahead and get a card from the Wisdom of the House of Night. I'm having a hard time remembering what the themes of last week were. It could have been trapped, or maybe that was the week before. All right, so keep in mind these timelines. I have all the videos on my YouTube channel, regardless if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. All of the videos are on my Facebook and on my YouTube. And these timelines are all connected to each other, all right? So let's hone in on the one taking place between November 11th and November 17th, though. Timeline energies, messages, and guidance of advice for the collective for this week, Spirit. Okay, so we have the card Denial coming back up with the Strength card at the bottom of the deck. So I do see tree energy, trees. We see a tree. There's a tree in this card, so it's giving growth, it's giving roots, it's giving foundation, earth energy, sturdy, stable, strong energy, but also energies of patience. I'm getting the energy of Capricorn in my mind's eye as I talk about those themes. So this could be talking about December, January time period. The number 14 and the number 35 could be important. 35 is 8. And we have a 5 here showing up with the 1 and the 4. So I don't know if the 14th of the month will be important this week, which is going to be Friday's energy. So I do want to read from the book for both of these messages, especially the Denial card. I remember this card talking about reaching for things before they're ripe, reaching for rotten fruit. Okay, so obviously the word denial could be important this week, whether we're being denied, whether we feel denied. This could be literal or metaphorical. These grapes are a metaphor for something that we're reaching for, right? Our fruits. Maybe this is a fruitless situation. Okay, but let's go ahead and get the card here. And we have a little message. It says, not everything in reach. Not everything is in reach, my child. Sometimes I must create distance between what you want and when or how you are meant to achieve it. Consider the wait for your highest good. You are not meant to achieve what you want right now. Keep the faith, for if you wait and show patience, I will reveal something wonderful later. This is a gentle warning not to get caught up in your desires to reach your goal too soon. You may choose your fruit. You may choose sour fruit that only looks ripe and juicy. In this case, I alone know when the time is right. Patience, my child. So patience is obviously a very important thing. And I will let you guys know on the 27th, we have Saturn going direct, which has to do with timing, which has to do with patience. All right, boundaries and restrictions. So not everything is in reach right now. Each and every one of us are reaching or desire different things, but there's something here about distance between what we want and when and how we're meant to receive it. So there is something here in the ethers that we're all meant to receive. And that's reminding me of certain quotes that I've read before, which is like, anything that's meant for you, you're never going to miss out on that, right? You have to trust divine timing when something is right. The universe knows when things are right. Our higher selves know when we're meant to have access or achieve or obtain a person, place, or thing. And we're also, we kind of have to know what to do in order to continue to have those things. You know, getting it or achieving it, obtaining a thing is only the beginning. What about like maintaining it and keeping it once you've got it, right? So that's another reason why sometimes timing is important, because if you get something before you're meant to have it, you might not even be a version of yourself that can keep it, if that makes sense. So there's some sort of weight going on right now in the ethers for our highest good. And we're not meant to achieve everything that we want at this very moment this week or even this month at this time. And at this point in the timeline, there's something here about patience. And there is a thing, it is a thing to reach your goal too soon, right? And when we do that, like I was saying just a moment ago, we could fumble even harder, right? So we don't want things that only look good. We want things that are actually good. So there's something here about patience. And then let's read from strength as well. Since it's at the bottom of the deck, it's giving Leo energy. This is obviously talking about actual strength as well. So sometimes life will present you with challenges that you think are too difficult to endure. Does it seem as though nothing goes your way and that everyone else appears to be having a good time? Be strong, my dear. Drawing this symbol means that no matter what is happening in your life, you have the strength to endure all experiences. Like an ancient oak whose trunk cannot be uprooted by the mightiest storm, you will know a strength that comes from within. You will win this game of life. You have the strength to face any situation now. And I do look up and I see August 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th. So that is Leo time period. And I'm wondering if July, August of this year, that's like of 2025, was that important? Or are we doing things and achieving things? Is this energy going to be important of August, July of next year, 2026? So it's interesting. This is talking about obviously having strength. This might be a time period where some of us are going through challenge, which I know to be true. Sometimes too difficult to endure, but we're being reminded of our strength here. It talked about not being uprooted by a storm. I remember a few weeks ago we had the tornado chaos card come up in tarot. So yeah. Now denial, we know, is another word for no. It's a boundary thing. It's a rejection. So remember that rejection can be protection. Some of us are having to deny other people right now. Okay, so it does take strength to deny. It takes strength to be able to endure being denied from something. All right, but remember what the card talked about: ripe fruit, waiting for things that are right for you. So we're reaching, and you know, let's go ahead and get another oracle card and read from this, because I really want to know what the main energies are at this point. So this card came up before in the timeline, maybe a little over a month ago. So there's something here that is still not quite ripe yet. It's not exactly in alignment yet. So we're having to continue to be patient just a little longer. And I have the card Clarity here that has come out. So there's something here about clarity. these two cards have something to do with another. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have trust. So strength, trust. There's something here about animals as well. I don't know if anyone's been seeing signs and synchronicities of animals. Let's go ahead and place the tarot cards back because we're going to be using those soon. So something about clarity, trust, your own strength, trust, your own clarity. Now, clarity and denial. Okay, we have this orb here. It's giving illusion. So this is telling me that there are several messages. I see October 28, 29, 30, 31. Maybe that was a time period where clarity was coming in, or where we needed clarity. This is a time of clarity where we're needing clarity on different things. Maybe we need clarity in regards to something that is linked to denial. Okay, maybe we denied something because we don't have clarity. All right, some of us could be doing that. So let me see here. Open the page up to clarity here. We have this little... So it says, you need to take time out to focus on the subject of your inquiry and to declutter that busy mind of yours. You're being urged to bring some order into your life and to make plans. It's the only way to achieve your dream. It's time to be absolutely crystal clear about what it is that you actually desire. You can achieve this by taking time out to decide what your goal is, plan how you can reach it, work a schedule out, and then focus. The universe cannot respond to a muddled head. So clear your mind of any unnecessary meanderings and allow yourself some clarity of thought. Interesting. Both of these cards brought up desire. And I am seeing greens, purples, fuchsias. These cards, am I tripping, or are these cards like similar color palette? So, okay, we need clarity before we reach for something. If we're being denied about something or someone or whatever it might be that we feel denied, or we feel this denial, it's because there's a lack of clarity. The universe is protecting us right now from further unnecessary confusion. Okay, so there's something here about the crystal clear quartz that could be important. Now this is interesting, but Friday is coming up again. The energy of the 14th, Friday. All right, so an explanation is lost on you. I see 12:28 on the clock. So there's something about the end of the year as well. Like, we're getting a lot of clarity right now. Okay. And until there's clarity on a certain situation, we may feel this sense of denial, but an explanation is lost. Engage in meditation. Work with the element air to expand your mind. Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Someone has misunderstood you. Could be feeling a bit misunderstood right now. Be careful what you wish for. Okay, so it's interesting, these cards talked about denial and coming up with a plan to get something. Maybe that's why we've felt this denial energy. This is why we haven't been able to achieve something or get something. This is why we're having to be patient, because there's some sort of clarity and plan. We're having to trust and have strength here. What's under strength over here? Complicated. Yeah. All right. So let's move these cards a little bit so that we have some room. And I'm going to get a tarot spread for this week. But we know some clarity is coming in. This may be coupled with some sort of denial or something of the sorts, okay? So let's tap in to November 11th to the 17th, 2025. Messages for the collective, messages for those listening right away. Right away, we have the shadow energy, Capricorn energy. Capricorn season may be important. There could be Capricorn energy present for somebody specific, sun, moon, or rising. But this card is the devil card in this deck. Let's take a closer look. We can see that there's something looming in the darkness back there, right? And there's these two people, two entities, quite vulnerable, and they seem chained to someone or something. This could be a card of addiction. It could be literally our shadow sides, okay? It could be obsession, codependency, anything that you're trapped in or trapped with that you're not using your own free will to get away from. You're not freeing yourself from something. It could be literal dark parts of yourself, addictive, obsessive, lustful qualities. there's definitely something here that someone's going to need to face. Now, we have the Five of Swords to tell me more at the bottom of the deck. This is causing a mental conflict. There could be someone toxic in your life, or some kind of toxic aspect to your life that's causing arguments. You need to pick and choose your battles wisely. Someone here is definitely fighting mental demons. So this is the shadow. Right away, there's some sort of powerful shadow energy, which doesn't have to be a bad thing. If we get to know the parts of ourselves, because what is the shadow side? This is the side that we try to hide until we're comfortable enough. It's the part of ourselves that we don't like, that needs to be healed, right? The trauma, the inner child, all of that. So some of us may do shadow work or whatever, but yeah, there's definitely something here that someone's battling. What else do we have? And then this is also the Capricorn energy that I was mentioning that could be important. All right, so there's something here that you could do to free yourself from something. But I also saw somebody almost giving up mentally when it comes to a certain situation. With that Five of Swords, now we have a Five of Wands coming out. So either way, this card is connected to a 5, meaning change needs to happen. That's why someone's feeling tension and conflict. Someone here is literally battling a demon. Okay, I don't always see stuff like that in the cards, but I do see that with, you know, the shadow and the Five of Wands. It's like there's definitely a toxic group of people here, or toxic energies to consider, because in the Five of Wands, it's like 5 people swinging around wands. Okay, nobody's hitting each other yet, but it's definitely getting a little rowdy, a little crowded, a little loud in here. Everybody has a point to prove. Okay, everybody's expressing different things. So there's something that needs to change about a toxic situation. There's challenge and power struggle here. And this could literally be happening in someone's job, in someone's home, in someone's relationship. You could be experiencing this in your finances. And I do see the Wheel of Fortune at the bottom of the deck. That's Jupiter's energy. We talked a little bit earlier about how Jupiter went retrograde November 11th. So this is our fate, our fortune, our karma. This is what we're learning, our beliefs, how we expand. And this is Capricorn, Pisces energy, Sagittarius, Pisces energy. We have the night and the day here, the light and the dark, okay? So there's something here about the seasonal shifts, the natural ebb and flow between light and dark, masculine, feminine, fall, winter, spring, summer, the equinoxes, the solstices. The wheel of fate is turning here. Usually this is a sign that something is going to turn in your favor. We do have the Magician, so yes, there's some magic here. There's magic and fate and karma here. And that's why situations are starting to kind of flare up, so to speak, because we're reaching ends to karmic cycles. And that's why we're having to trust and be strong. Even when we're being denied, it's like inside we know, we have that clarity still, right? When you have clarity, it doesn't matter who or what is telling you no, because it's like spiritually, you know where that yes resides. So this is intuitive, okay? And it's like, allow conflict to reveal itself, because that's how you're going to know where the karma is too. Now, these 2 cards just popped out. Interesting. This is the Justice card with the Knight of Wands. We have a Libra and a Sagittarius hanging out. This could be Aries, Leo as well. This is literally some sort of spontaneous balancing act. With the Justice card, this could be the law, metaphorically or literally. This could be a lawyer. This could be the areas of our lives that require balance and justice. This is when we finally make those harsh decisions. And it's almost like we make that ruling as a jury mentally, right? We have that sword there to really give that clarity to make these decisions. This could be the law, it could be justice, it could be karma, decision making. But there is some sort of like spontaneous, adventurous energy with the Knight of Wands. Maybe something's coming in and being expressed really quickly, and it like helps things kind of be more fair, or if things aren't fair and balanced. Because remember, Libra season just a month or so ago, right? It was end of September, beginning of October. So yeah, there's something here about harmony and fairness. Now, this Knight of Wands could be an individual, like this could be an explosive individual, someone who's kind of unpredictable, or this might be what we need in order to make it through certain energies at this point in the timeline, right? Spontaneity, unpredictability, non-committal in and out energy. If this is an individual, because this could be someone's like ex. I do see a Libra, I see Sagittarius, Aries, Leo, and then the Two of Shields is at the bottom, Two of Pentacles, so the juggling. There is some juggling. I see Libra and Capricorn as the major arcana, and then 2 fire cards. So expression, creativity, taking action, stamina, energy. That's important. Confidence. All right. But yeah, this is karmic. There's a karmic battle going on. There's some sort of juggling act between the pros and the cons. Like, some of us are feeling really, because of this tension and karma, we're feeling like a pressure cooker, like a volcano about to erupt. Karma is literally about to hit. And that doesn't necessarily mean anything bad for everyone. It depends on the kind of energy you've been putting out. It depends on, respectfully, what you've been doing. But yeah, there's some quick energy about to erupt. And I think that's why we're feeling the conflict and why there's this need to, like, because we're starting to feel antsy, almost like anxious, anxiety, especially with this Mercury retrograde. And you might notice people just kind of blurting and expressing things, saying things that they've been kind of secretly feeling or whatever it might be. But because of this quick action or this rushed energy, it's linked to karma. It may cause conflict or something. But weigh out the pros and cons right now. We're trying to like balance something. $200 could be important here. $2,000, $20 as far as money goes. But let's get 4 more cards or so. I need a line of cards down here to tell me more. So let's see what else we have for this week, November 11th to the 17th. All right. So our career and our relationships could be important with Capricorn and Libra. And we do have, wow, the Nine of Cups that just came out with the 5 of Pentacles. 5 of Pentacles, 9 of Cups. So there is this energy of feeling left out in the cold. That's what this card talks about. You know, winter is coming for many of us, depending on where you live. But yeah, there's definitely some people here who are struggling. There might be some people here who are, I know, financial conflict or struggle. Even if you're self-employed, it can be kind of rough. I do have $500 here, $55, $5,000. But this is the lack of resources, okay? You can see these people are huddled up by a fire, but these two are left out in the background. So you could be feeling left out in the cold. Someone around you could be feeling left out in the cold and abandoned. This is definitely talking about poverty and the have-nots. And it's like there's people around you who could help you, but you feel kind of shunned and disregarded by them. And it's interesting, this combination came out with the 9 of Cups. So it's coupled with an energy of wish fulfillment. So I don't know if there's someone in the situation who's been going without, who's about to like get a wish come true, or a fulfillment energy, okay, of like a dream come true. And this is why there's conflict going on as well, because there's karma when it comes to like what people are going without, money, resources. Like maybe that's why someone felt tied with someone and why there's conflict and tension. But then we have the 9 of Pentacles at the bottom of the deck. So that's another 9 card of fulfillment. So if you're out there feeling, I know this is easier said than done, but if you're out there feeling unemployed, scared, resources, poverty, if you're worried about those kind of things, there's energy of fulfillment coming in. You're almost finished with some sort of challenge in that way to where you're going to be feeling a lot more fulfilled, okay? Someone's going to be feeling very satisfied, but it's like they remember the times when they were cold and left out, and they remember who broke bread with them. And some of us might want to eat alone moving forward in the timeline, because it's like when I was down bad, you know, you left me out in the cold and in the snow, right? That toxic situation or whatever, but then karma came and spontaneously erupted and changed everything. Remember, before we was reaching and it wasn't ready. When these fruits are ready, I don't care if this is literally sometime in the way near future. Some of us are going to be eating alone, because we'd rather eat alone with all our fulfillment and our satisfaction than potentially, you know, be involved with people who left us out in the cold or abandoned. And be careful not to abandon your dreams right now with all this karma and this shadow energy, because that's someone's shadow here as well. Not feeling good enough. Someone has abandonment issues, trauma, maybe even from their childhood. Someone here may be feeling toxic because they're in debt or financially challenged right now. There's some conflict, but now we have the mother showing up. The mother is here. which could be a literal mother figure at this point in the timeline. It could be our mothers. It could be us if we are mothers or mother figures. These are feminine archetypes, feminine energy. Whether you're a man or female, this is feminine energy. I do see an ex-wife though with the Justice card. I see a wife, a baby's mother. This could be someone's girlfriend, sister, whatever. But it's, and obviously we see a woman who is pregnant here. So that could be literal or metaphorical. But this is also someone who's very creative, someone who's giving birth to ideas, projects, new beginnings, someone who's manifesting and who's very in tune with the ebb and flow of things, this woman. Okay, this is the divine mother, the divine feminine energy showing up here. It's giving Lilith almost. So yeah, someone here could obviously be with child or mother. But this is the divine feminine. And we have the 10 of Wands at the bottom of the deck. So there's something here about female struggle. Someone here, there's like heavy weights with this mother energy. Something needs nurturing. Something needs creation and healing, abundance, beauty. This is Venus. So Taurus, Libra energy. There is a female Libra here. Maybe there's someone here going to court as a mother. There's like a child and stuff. You know, this could have been some sort of spontaneous energy that's, you know, adding conflict to the timeline, because this could be someone who's kind of in and out and, you know, hookups, that kind of thing. But the burdens are being released. Okay, something was very, very heavy. This could have to do with like an ex. I do see Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or it could be just communication that someone needs to communicate. There's a heavy decision here, heavy clarity. I know the card clarity came out over here. So the King of Swords is similar to the Justice. All right, this is someone who has made their mind up about something. Look how clear this person is. Clear skies, right? So yeah, there is something with that. There might need to be some heavy communication. Yeah, Page of Swords. Someone here is holding back and not saying everything because it's too heavy. All right, let's get one more card. So I don't know where this mother comes into play here, but this is a very abundant energy. This could be an archetype or a person for some of us, but for others of us, this is just an energy that we're going to start feeling mentally. One more card for this week, please. November 11th to November 17th. Some of us may start feeling a little bit more abundant, more beautiful, more attractive. Our manifestations are coming in. But there is something this week specifically, or at this point in the timeline, that needs immediate action. And as I say that, a card fell out on the floor. So there is something hidden here. Maybe we're hiding something. Maybe it's being hidden from us, or it's hidden in general. So keep that in mind. And we have the 9 of Wands, but it's in reverse. I think this came up a couple weeks ago where someone here is losing. It's like they're backing down. They don't really want to fight anymore or stand up and battle anymore. So this could be, you know, upright. The 9 of Wands is, I'm going to persevere. I don't care how many times we have to fight. I'm going to fight and I'm going to win and I'm going to be triumphant. Even though I'm bruised and beaten up, I can fight again. So it's like enough's enough, right? Like some of us are exhausted here, all right? Literally, like we're literally exhausted with certain narratives. That's why there's something here that needs someone here really, it's like we're about to erupt. We're going to charge forward karmically. We're going to fight the battles necessary. We're ready. Like, you want to go? Let's go. All right. And this might be happening with energies. I don't know if these are people. It could literally be this shadow energy. That was the first card out. So please know that these are karmic battles, karmic spiritual warfare. And there's something here about justice for some sort of mother feminine energy. Bottom of the deck is the 2 of Swords, which is a stalemate. It gives Mercury retrograde. It gives be still right now and see the truth from both sides and both angles. We have that Wheel of Fortune. So it's like our decisions are literally turning the wheel right now. There's fated decisions being made by not only by us, but by the people around us, by the people that are affecting us in our lives. So even though there's like some sort of karmic stalemate, even fate herself has not quite decided yet which way certain things should go as we finish up the fall and enter the winter. So it's about silence now. It's about difficult choices, indecision, sitting with yourself and trusting your gut about which truth is the one that resonates more with you. things are going to start turning in our favor as we make these decisions. And we do have Mercury again, magical fate and change. All right, Jupiter and Mercury showing up there as a planet. But remember, we have the card trust. Now these cards are kind of beautiful and powerful to hold up together. All right, we need to trust ourselves right now as we make these decisions. All right, there could be a stalemate, there could be a crossroads that we're at. So before we roll the dice, I just want to see what this deck, any messages from this deck for this week, timing on Tuesday. And it's literally the Seven of Cups. This card came out last week. The card of option, the card of illusion, the card of being overwhelmed and almost paralyzed. This is option paralysis. It's the kind of thing that happens when there's so many options that you kind of just stand there stunned. But no decision is a decision. The bottom of the deck is the Fool. So we're just wanting to jump kind of in. I think there's something weird about the energy right now where it's like our backs are up certain walls and we're between rocks and hard places. So it's like when something presents itself as an out, we're like, all right, let's go. But there's certain karma to be dealt. That's how you know there's a karmic situation when you're in that. Like, it's like a rubber band being pulled too far and it's about to snap, right? Like breaking points, boiling points. Some of us just, it's not like we're weak or anything. I love that strength came out to remind us of that, but we're picking and choosing our battles wisely. Like, we're tired of fighting this same old demons. Like, I think some of us have really learned our lesson karmically. We're tired of being restricted in the same way. And we also done found out some of us, it is our fault. We have all these options and we're sitting here fighting with you, or like trying to help you in what you got going on, your dark side. No. There are so many different options here showing up. They're going to continue to show up. All of them are different. Not all of them are going to work out. Not all of them are meant for you or good for you. This could cause a little bit of confusion, but there is some sort of new beginning amongst all these different people, places, and things showing up for you. And it's the one that is worth taking a risk. It's the one that you're going to have clarity about, or the one that's going to offer up clarity, right? It might have to do with that energy that was being denied before, but it's going to require strength, it's going to require trust, and it's going to require difficult decision making. So let's go ahead and roll the dice and see what's going on. So we do have Aries showing up tremendously on the Nine of Cauldrons, and it's interesting. There's a man's head here. So Aries rules the head. The dice landed on the sign Aries. We have the number 1 house, the first house, which is the I am. Aries rules the I am. We have a little bit of Taurus, a little bit of Gemini, and Virgo here as well. But the conflict seems to be about identity. Maybe someone's having an identity crisis because they're finally fighting shadow aspects of themselves. When you start fighting the shadow aspects of yourself, it really feels like you stop fighting it. But when you start thinking about stuff in that way and gaining clarity in that way, I don't know, it can kind of trigger conflict, sometimes even with those around us, because it's like we start changing who we are once we embrace the shadow side and go through that shadow work. So yeah, I don't know. I think there's something here about the individuality, the I am, who someone is, how they're perceived. They might be guilty by association. Like, there's certain things or people that you just don't want to be associated with anymore. And we have Mercury here as a planet. It's in reverse, so that's giving Mercury retrograde. I also see Saturn in Aries right here. So that's an indication of karmic war, karmic battles. That's definitely happening right now, you guys. So Mercury retrograde is also a little bit why we feel the tension. Karmically, there's a lot is being brought to our attention that needs to be balanced out and fair. There's been a lot of unfairness, right? Energetically and straight up. So that might be why we're feeling a little angry, irritated, restricted, limited. And it's like there's certain things that we're really having trouble with mentally, right? That mental fog is very real. It's linked to who we are, who we were, who we're becoming, our identities. There's something that we could communicate with a certain person or in an area of our life. It would help us. It would give us clarity as to who we are in this situation amongst all this chaos and conflict. So someone here may have Mercury in Aries. This could be argumentative. Someone here could have Mercury in their first house. Aries rising is showing up, and that kind of energy. So yeah, this is definitely a miscommunication, something we need to mentally overcome and leap beyond. It's like one decision away, right? If we could just trust ourselves and who we are and how strong we are a little bit more, even though we're being denied, it's like there's so much clarity right now as well. This Nine of Wands in reverse is interesting though, because we have backed down from a certain thing. We're not like out of the fight completely, but we're just fighting for the right things now, if that makes sense. So I think I'm going to leave it here for now, you guys. I will be back next week, sometime around the 17th, 18th, and 19th, to check on this timeline again. All right, so just hang in there, guys. Lots of new beginnings and clarity on the way. And I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.